How you doing today, sir?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
Today I would like to talk to you about reading and its benefits on the mind.
Okay.
So, I remember being a young child, raised in a household where reading was extremely important to establishing our fundamental skills. Around the age of 4, my mother would make me read about 3 chapters of Harry Potter each day. I mean, a week. And she would read to me a chapter every Friday. At first, I would approach reading with a very reluctant attitude. I would much rather play video games with my brother. Eventually, however, I began to appreciate the way I was able to dive into that world and view it through my own imagination. The experience is as if you're creating a world between your thoughts and your desires. You're viewing it through your very own glasses. Unfortunately, with the increase of accessible technology in the world, young children and adults alike are beginning to throw away their books and embrace the internet and all of its convenience. In all honesty, I believe that the era of technology is actually a testament to how powerful our brains are. However, I believe that overindulging in this luxury is causing us to miss out on the development and the continued exercise of our minds. It's like rejecting the process that was able to produce such a result as the internet. Developing our reading ability has been tied to sophistication of the mind. With this increased usage of the internet, we are naturally opting for the more convenient options, and which is understandable. Why would you read about a subject when you could just look up the information that you need within mere seconds? Why read an entire novel when it's possible to find out the plot in mere moments? If you've asked these questions before, don't worry, I'm about to explain. Growing up, I began to understand the importance of reading, little by little. Not only had I developed an imagination, but I had begun to speak at a level far above average for my age. I had begun to develop an amazing brain connectivity as well, which helps us think and operate at a more efficient rate as humans. Those are just some of the benefits that reading has on our minds. According to Healthline, reading helps prevent and slow the cognitive decline that comes with our increasing age over time. Keeping our minds engaged as we get older is very important to preserving the health of our brains, which is something that we see people rarely doing nowadays. In doing so, we retain our ability to think at a very high level, and this reduces the chances of us acquiring mental diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. Unfortunately, many of us only read books when it is strongly suggested. Say, for example, you had an assignment to create a literary analysis on the novel 1984 by George Orwell. In order to produce a quality analysis, it would be recommended that we read the novel in order to gain an understanding for ourselves, right?
Correct.
This is something that we don't see many of us doing nowadays. With the introduction of the internet, we now have lots of sources at our disposal within the palm of our hands, without having to place effort, without having to store our effort into something that we don't want to do or we don't necessarily have to do. Without the strong recommendation of reading this book, many of us will look up the plot and meaning of the novel on the internet. This is not keeping our brains active and engaged, as we look for the most convenient way to get the information needed to complete our assignment. Not to say that this is a bad thing, because we are supposed to use the resources at our disposal. However, ensuring that we take the time to exercise our theory of mind, which is the ability to attribute mental states like beliefs, knowledge, and pretending to oneself and others with either the same or different beliefs. The most important part of our reading, however, is not the psychological benefits or even the physical benefits. It's the enjoyment that comes from diving into a story and becoming part of that world. Being able to attach ourselves to what we read throughout the text, to the words floating off the page. Being able to cling to every word that we read and imagine those pages of text coming to life is a benefit of the highest regard. It allows us to step outside of ourselves, to step outside of our worldly possessions, and just enjoy life created between our thoughts and our imagination. The learning opportunities that come with reading are great, and depending on a person's imagination, the possibilities are endless. If you enjoy history, reading a novel about historical fiction can help you learn things in ways that aren't so boring and pushed upon you. I encourage you all to read as much as you can. You do not necessarily have to throw away the internet. I'm not saying that we need to get rid of our laptops and throw away our TVs. But we can start small by maybe reading a chapter or two of a novel per week and progressively increase our reading as we go on, if you so choose. In doing so, I won't have to remind you of the benefits. You'll see them for yourself. Thank you, and have a great day, sir.
You too.